Hi guys, and I'm here recording this video for the third time because my phone, I don't know, Voice Memos for some reason has decided that it doesn't want to give me good quality audio, and I've tried it twice. So now I'm recording directly onto KineMaster, which should be fun considering I can only record 14 minutes, which is how long I have this Speedpaint at, and then I have to stop because it'll just cut me right off. Okay, so let's get right into this. So I'm reading my original plot, and I wrote it when I was 9, so it's pretty bad. And it's called A Bright Future Dragon Tale, and it's gone through a bunch of different names. I need to speed through this, sorry. And it was originally called Dragon Riders, because it was originally about dragons, and then it was called Fearsome Beasts, which is, like, the worst one, and I spelled it wrong. I'll put it on the screen because I don't have time to explain how it's spelled. And yeah, so chapter 1 is called Mutiny, which I literally got from a SpongeBob episode.
Arr, mutiny.
And I'll start reading now. It was a bright and sunny day. Fastclaw was sorting his human sword collection. Scorch suddenly scrambled into the room. Scorch was said to be a rare kind of fire dragon, with yellow scales, an orange underbelly, and red horns. He always acted like he deserved everything because of that. Scorch was his brother and heir to the throne, but Fastclaw wasn't, because he wasn't a rare fire dragon. Fastclaw, you must come, said Scorch. Humans are attacking the palace. I will, Firebutt, said Fastclaw, after I finish sorting my human sword collection. Fastclaw, the palace is in danger and you're sorting toothpicks. Also, stop calling me Firebutt. Just an FYI. That's foreshadowing for later, the Firebutt thing. It's worse than you think it is. Just wait. Just you wait. Don't call them toothpicks, they are swords. Besides, they are way too big to be toothpicks. I just need an image in your head. Dragon, about the size of a horse, because that's how big my dragons are. And that's how big they've always been. Picking his teeth with a human sword. You're welcome. Whatever, just come. Fine. Fastclaw scowled as he followed Scorch. The palace was huge, with banners all over the place. Great description, 9-year-old me. The banners all had a claw design on them, which was the symbol for the kingdom, because the ice dragons had already taken the fire symbol, except they made it look like their ice breath. That's gotten me all 3 times I've read this, and I don't know why. The emperor had told him that it was originally made by human, but his tribe, because I forgot the S, but his tribe, the fire dragons, with fire but not dragons capitalized, took it over and widened the doorways. They finally made it outside. Wow, they have really outdone themselves this time, said Fastclaw, looking up. They have pegasi and horses everywhere. Wait, that's not a horse. Well, most of them are, but that's a dragon, with a human riding it, he said, surprised. The dragon didn't seem sad, he seemed proud. I apologize for my incompetence of reading. Fastclaw scowled. That stupid traitor. He deserves no better than to be thrown in the dungeon. I don't know if that would count as changing the past between past and present tense, but I do that a lot in this book, as you'll see. I don't think I fixed it at this point. Fastclaw took into the sky and went straight for the traitor. I almost said crater. That was funny. He could hear Scorch yelling orders at him, but he ignored them. He suddenly found the traitor diving after him. Fastclaw weaved through the pegasi and dragons. I didn't mention it, but apparently the fire dragons are fighting them in the sky. I don't know. He looked behind him. The traitor was pretty far behind. Fastclaw hovered for a moment, and when the mysterious dragon got close, he swooped out of the way. The dragon soared past him, but somehow turned midair and grabbed Fastclaw's tail between his teeth. I don't know how else he would grab him. They don't have talons. Maybe they did at this point. I don't remember. I got rid of them eventually. Anyway, and slammed him into the ground. Fastclaw moaned. I hate that word so much. I wish I had written groaned, but, whatever. The traitor pinned him to the ground. The traitor seemed to be a red fire dragon with some kind of marking on his back leg, which was perfectly in the middle. It wasn't slanted, not even the tiniest bit. It seemed to be some sort of dragon, with a little black dragon that was curled up in a circle. Totally not ripping off Wings of Fire. Not in the teeniest little bit, you know. I was original. I am original. Fastclaw had never heard of a tribe that had that kind of symbol. Also, I don't know how he's looking at it because it's on the dragon's ankle and, like, he's pinned him to the ground, holding his shoulders down, so apparently he's, like, lifting up his head just to look at his tattoo. I don't know. I can sense strength in you, the red dragon said. The human was still on his back. I think the original line was, and the human was still on his back. But I changed it here. Then the traitor said, come. Fastclaw struggled against the chains. Sorry, I lost my spot. He could hear Scorch calling his name. Fastclaw knew that even Scorch knew. There was no hope of him getting away. The traitor dragged him along with them. Totally not ripping off Spirit at all. I'm original. I didn't rip off, like, everything in the history of everything. He was put into a cage that he could barely fit in. The room the cage was in looked like a dungeon, lit by torches that messed up his eyesight. His kidnappers strolled over. This gets me every time. I didn't even get this far in the second recording. I am Firebutt. He said, not jokingly, completely seriously. His name is Firebutt. Fastclaw suddenly burst out laughing. Me too, bud, me too. And laughed so hard he hit his head on the top of the cage. Sounds like me. I do not understand what is so funny. Let's get you cleaned up for your buyer, said Firebutt's rider, striding out of the shadows. He grabbed the chain halter that was around Fastclaw's snout. Fastclaw stuck his forked tongue out at Firebutt. I am Sir Joe the Brave. Horrible to meet you, Sir Joe. My name is none of your business, said Fastclaw. It just sounds like like a second grader when the teacher says good morning and they say bad morning instead. Like, it just sounds like that. That's just great. I thought I was so original there, but that's just, like, the best line in the entire book, and I don't know why. The worst line is like, really late in this, but I love it. Sir Joe had a disappointed look. You better learn some manners, dragon. Why? 'Cause I have Firebutt, says that seriously, no irony in his voice at all, you know, I love that. Firebutt gave Fastclaw a menacing look. Fastclaw glared at Firebutt. Oh god, we're only 3 pages into the book. This is gonna be a long, long time. Okay. Sir Joe led Fastclaw... I forgot to hold this close to my mouth. Sorry. Sir Joe led Fastclaw to a barn, where he got washed by sponges. Your new owner will be here soon, said Sir Joe. Suddenly Fastclaw stopped allowing himself to be led. I don't know what he was expecting, being caught by dragons, or by humans, I mean. Good English. But, you know, come on, Fastclaw. I don't know where he learned his name, but... Okay. No, said Fastclaw sternly. Firebutt, called Sir Joe. Firebutt landed next to him and said, yes, teach him a lesson, said Sir Joe. With pleasure. Firebutt raked his claws across Fastclaw's back. Fastclaw cried out in pain. Okay, 2 things. First of all, that was unnecessarily brutal from nowhere, but I was very messed up in the head. Well, I still am, but I was worse when I was younger. Second of all, Firebutt's a sadist. Holy crap, like, just freaking wants to do it. Like, he's happy to do it. He gets pleasure from hurting the dragon who just didn't want to be sold into slavery, you know. This is what I wrote when I was 9. I was perfectly normal. Stop, he cried. That depends on if you will come with me, or will you not? Said Sir Joe. I will, said Fastclaw. Good, said Sir Joe. A knight riding a horse followed by a carriage, galloped to the door. That would be him. Fastclaw growled as he got pulled by Firebutt towards the knight. Suddenly, Fastclaw sank his claws into Firebutt's back. I think it was originally his butt, but I decided to change it. I don't know why. Firebutt cried out in pain. "Dragon!" yelled Sergio. Firebutt turned around, bleeding, and pinned him to the ground. Fastclaw thrashed, but Firebutt stayed firm in place. I don't know, I just realized, I don't know why I'm calling him Sergio, because he's not a knight. I never planned him to be a knight. I just didn't understand how knighting worked when I wrote this. Okay, anyway. "That must be my dragon," said the knight. "Glad you could come, Sir Stephen," said Sergio. "We seem to have a bit of trouble." "Don't we all? Luckily I brought some sleep powder." Yes, he just happened to bring some, quote-quote, sleep powder made from pure plot relevance with him. "Good, then it's all yours." "It?" cried Fastclaw, still thrashing with Firebutt. "Here's my payment," said Sir Stephen, ignoring Fastclaw as he hands the rein. Yep, there's me changing the past tense, or the time. I don't remember what it's called. My brain is having a brain fart. Ignoring Fastclaw as he hands the reins of his horse to Sergio, Sergio told Firebutt to get off of Fastclaw. Fastclaw scrambled to his feet. The two knights shook hands and Sir Stephen threw sleep powder onto Fastclaw. He suddenly felt drowsy. He fell over. Just before sleep overtakes him, Sir Stephen got right in his face and said, "You'll be tamed soon." I don't know why he says this. I guess just plot relevance, but I don't get it. How long is this next part? I have enough time for it if I start reading like now. Okay. Fastclaw woke in a tall pen of his wings and mouth bound. The fence was too high to jump, so Fastclaw decided to search for a weak spot. But there was no weak spot, so he decided to lay there and wait for someone to open the gate. Apparently, the knights were smarter than they looked. A knight used the strange mechanism to get over the fence. I didn't describe it, but it's a catapult. They, instead of opening the door or something and just threatening him back, he used a catapult and threw himself over the fence. The knight did a faceplant. The knight brushed himself off and had other knights hand him a sponge. Fastclaw got what he was going to do and allowed him to sponge the blood off his back. Fastclaw's teeth clenched in pain. Then the knight said, "You have to trust me." "Why should I?" asked Fastclaw. "Just trust me," he said. Fastclaw gave him a raspberry. I don't know why. The knight takes off his halter and attempts to slip a dragon-sized bridle over his mouth, because I totally wasn't going with some weird spirit horse obsession. Read this. He tried... "No," he said, but as soon as Fastclaw opened his mouth, he jammed the bit in. He tried to shake it off, but the knight had already fastened it around the back of Fastclaw's head. "Get this out of my mouth," he said, as if there was food in his mouth. Although I'd obviously never heard someone talk with food in their mouth, because I don't know if that's actually what it sounds like. "Sorry, dragon," he said. He picked up the dragon-sized saddle and that he could barely lift. Fastclaw did not want a heavy saddle on his back. He had seen horses. Fastclaw moved away. The knight backed him against a fence. He had no choice but to give in and let him... I lost my spot. Put the saddle on his back because he didn't want to fight a knight equipped with both a sword and a bow, plus his wings were bound so he couldn't fly away. The saddle wasn't as heavy as he thought. Then he remembered that humans weren't as strong as dragons. He fastened the saddle around his wings, then his underbelly. "Now," he said, "let's get you tamed." Not, thought Fastclaw. As soon as he got one foot in the stirrup, Fastclaw moved and he fell flat on his back. "Restrain that dragon!" The next thing he knew, he had a chain wrapped around his neck. Sir Dummy, the knight, climbed on his back. Sorry, the video cut me off, so now when I said 14 minutes earlier, it's actually 17 now, because I extended the speed paint, but I'm just going to sound crazy. But I'm already incompetent, so whatever. I'm sorry. Alright, climbed on his back. As soon as they released him, he immediately took off. He slipped on the dirt and tripped over rocks. He bumped and jostled Sir Dummy and slammed his side against the side of the fence. I said against twice, by the way. By accident, I must have left that in there because I'm an idiot and incompetent. It didn't do anything to him because he was wearing armor. It just caused Fastclaw pain. Sir Dummy pulled on the reins. The pain in his mouth was hard to bear, and he was tired. He stopped, panting. "Do you give in?" he asked. "Yesh," he panted. He climbed off his back, took Fastclaw's bridle off, and stood in front of him. Fastclaw breathed no fire at him. He just panted. "Good," said Sir Dummy. "You have completely given in." Sadly, it was true. Fastclaw had given up all hope of going free, and had given in to the knights. And that's where I'm going to leave off. That was... I think I lost at least 50 brain cells by reading that, and then 100 more by just listening to myself speak. I apologize. I fully accept, like, any hate comments you want to leave. If for some reason you can stand the sound of my obnoxious voice, I don't know, let me know so I can continue these. If you want to hear more, obviously comment. I don't know, this is one of my favorite things I've ever done, but, like, whatever, I don't know. I am bad at speaking. I don't have much confidence in anything, which is why I know that even if I did try to redo these recordings over and over and over again, they would just end up all being terrible, so I'm just saving myself some time. Alright, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, and I will let you finish the last minute or so of the speed paint.